Ladies and gentlemen, what's good? We're back with another Bobby Reacts video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. Today we are going to be speaking on the topic of whether or not Call of Duty Mobile is dying. Especially starting, I would say, around 2 months ago, it became a pretty popular topic to talk about. There were a number of different YouTubers that had posted videos on it, and I actually had made my own stance on it. It was right around the beginning of December when people were actually talking about it. So I'm going to talk about some new information that I found out just regarding some different statistics about the game, but we're going to go ahead and hop into it. So first thing that we'll look at is what I said what was it, around 2-3 months ago. This is actually pretty much what Ferg based his video on the topic on, which is, if you look at the active player count for Call of Duty Mobile, you can see it was on a downward decline up until around November, December of 2021, or November or December of 2020, and ever since then it's actually been on an upward decline or upward increase. Obviously this just shows you active monthly players, so not necessarily how much time people are spending on the game, whatever it would be, just how many people are playing the game on average per month. I felt like even though a lot of numbers were going down, yeah, Call of Duty Mobile still perfectly fine. And obviously we had lots of people making videos on it. Ferg made a video, Jokes made a video, lots of other people talking about it. And right now, this guy said, Ifrig didn't call you a liar. Ifrig doesn't know who you are. Anyways, this is the actual page that has the active monthly users for Call of Duty Mobile. You can see it's still going up, and it's actually the highest that it's been at 56 million active. It gained 2.7% over the last month, which is actually kind of crazy, especially given most people's sentiment toward the game, at least public facing anyway. So if you look right now, 56 million, it hasn't been at 56 million since what, June 30th of 2020, which is nearly 2 years ago at this point. So you would think, given the average monthly players for the game, it should be in the best place that it's ever been. But I figured there had to be a better metric to actually figure out what that indicates, because obviously you can have all these people playing the game, but how much are they invested in the game? What are the different indicators that you have for whether or not people are spending a lot of time in the game? Most of the time, when somebody's investing more time into the game, they're going to want to do research on it. And typically the best place to do research, especially for video games, is going to be on YouTube. So I wanted to go ahead and take a look at YouTube. And it turns out, especially when you remove this search term, you can see Call of Duty Mobile, and I'll take out that comparison as a whole, Call of Duty Mobile as a search term is actually, when it comes to YouTube searches specifically worldwide, the lowest that it has ever been. The lowest it had dropped before this search rating was at 17, and right now it is at a 14. So once again, we saw a dip toward March of 2020. It went up, went back down. What's the reasoning behind this? Well, it's because people are not as invested in the game as they were previously. So even though the game itself is having more people play than ever before, those people that are playing aren't really all that invested. Those are what we would call casual players. So people that are going to hop on and play limited time modes, maybe play a game of BR or so and then hop back off. Those are not the people that are invested moving forward in like an esports scene or ranking up really high. Even then, I would say people that are ranking up really high probably don't have like a specific need to really look at YouTube, just because it is so easy to rank up because of different mechanics like persistence, like K9, things like that. The one thing that I was looking at before was the difference between COD Mobile Ranked and COD Mobile BR, and you can see how big that gap had gotten. If you look back, whatever this is probably when the search term was actually at its lowest previously, which was around March of 2020. That's when ranked was probably at its peak, and you can see how big the gap has grown ever since then, and how popular BR has been, especially relative to how much people are searching for COD Mobile Ranked. Keep in mind, these are all YouTube searches. So I think a big reason for that is because of the state of the competitive, ranked, whatever you want to call it, side of things for Call of Duty Mobile. If you look at the popularity of the COD Mobile Championship, we had our first ever Stage 5, and the search popularity for the COD Mobile Championship was way lower than it was during the entire time that Stage 4 was being played in 2020. You can see different peaks for when it was introduced. You have Stage 2, Stage 3, Stage 4. This is around when stage 4 was happening right here, way higher than any of the search popularity. And a lot of this is because of the lost interest in multiplayer. And like I said, there's a lot of different factors go into it, but I hopped onto Twitter earlier today to try to break down everything that was happening. I'm going to go through this just because there's probably a lot of stuff that I articulated in this that I didn't think of while I was just rambling on just now. But obviously, the lowest, the highest player count that has been since June 2020, but interest on YouTube is at an all-time low. Breaking down. Okay, I hadn't actually seen that Noah had commented, but breaking down the popularity for BR, and partially because BR right now, I would say, even though there are bots in Legendary, I'd say BR is probably more competitive at the Legendary rank than multiplayer is, just because there are so many mechanics that lower the skill gap in multiplayer. You've got the K9 that one-shots kinetic armor. Every melee one-shots kinetic armor. You've got persistence, which reduces the need to learn how to play for score streaks. You also have the fact that once people reach Legendary, there's nothing to grind for. And because for an above average player, it only takes, what, 4 or 5 hours to get from where you reset to in Master Ranked all the way to Legendary, there's not really a whole lot of time that you need to invest into the game. And why watch videos about the game if you're not playing the game? So many different factors contributing to the current state of multiplayer as to why right now I wouldn't say COD Mobile is dying, but I would say the number of people, or the player base of people that are invested in the game, is dying. So even though the overall numbers might deceive things and make it look like the game is the best that it's been in, what, 2 years at this point, the actual dedicated player base is dying, and it's happening relatively quickly, especially on the multiplayer side of things. This is something that I'm really invested in because I've been in Call of Duty mobile esports for a long time. I'm curious, I actually hadn't looked up what the results were for COD mobile esports, but that doesn't really give you a ton. This is typically what happens just when there's not enough popularity for a search term. You don't really get any specific results. So, but part of the reason that COD mobile esports is not really doing all that great, actually, what if I do Call of Duty mobile esports? Okay, you can see a little bit difference right there, and obviously you do have the peak whenever as probably people searching for the COD Mobile Esports channel specifically. So that makes sense because we didn't have the COD Mobile Esports channel at all. It didn't exist way back here. But right now, I would say even though the player numbers are increasing for Call of Duty Mobile, I think the dedicated player base is dying. So take with that what you will, but I think there's a lot of things that you can look back at in this video that specifically point to a need for Call of Duty Mobile, especially on the ranked side of things, to have an overhaul. We had the launch of the Vanguard rank trailer yesterday that said we're going to have basically all the same settings, the same maps, the same restrictions for Call of Duty ranked in Vanguard that you have for the CDL, and that's vastly different from what we have in COD Mobile because there are no restrictions in ranked. Obviously, I think there should be opportunities for newer players to get into ranked, but there's also going to be something to bridge the gap from casual play to esports. So let me know you guys' thoughts on it down below. This is obviously something that I'm passionate about, and I wouldn't be making the video if I didn't want it to improve, but hope you guys do enjoy the video. If you do, please do me a favor, drop a like down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.